Hi, my name is Giancarlo Garcia, and this is my presentation on the Old Town Hall of Caguas, Puerto Rico. The Old Town Hall of Caguas, Puerto Rico. Let's start with the date of construction of the Town Hall. The Town Hall of Caguas, Puerto Rico was built in the year 1856, but it was made Town Hall under the governance of Romualdo Palacios. This building was used back in the day as an asylum, as a prison, a nursery school, and a refuge as well. Cost of construction of the Town Hall of Puerto Rico, Caguas, Puerto Rico. The cost of construction for this building was around $15,000 in the 19th century. Notice 19th century. If we were to convert that value of the 19th century to the 21st century, that would come out as roughly $360,000. Yeah, a pretty hefty price for this rather old building. But that kind of lets us know that the value of this represents a great sense of design and engineering behind it, you know? Next is who designed and built it. If it has such a great cost, who designed and built it? The Old Town Hall of Caguas was designed and built by the Spanish Royal Corps of Engineers. Not much is known about the Spanish Royal Corps of Engineers, but what we do know is that they're very proficient and very well versed in their craft. We can see it in this town hall. It was rather unique in its design, and that's something we'll see much later on. Materials used for construction. I like this one. The materials used for construction in this town hall were wood, cement, metal, stone, marble, tile, and brick. That's a rather large list of materials, and it's given to the uniqueness of this building. You know, it was very interesting. It has a very interesting, let's say, object inside of the town hall. If you were to go inside and walk a few steps, you would see right in the middle of it a well made out of what? Made out of brick. Very interesting. It has it also has a facade, in the second level of the building. I say third because it's split into three parts, and the one of those parts is the central part of the facade. It comes out as a balcony, and in the balcony it has a steel bar that holds people back, and you can look from the balcony down. And it's very interesting because it's a steel bar, and it's held and forged by hooks made of the same, of steel. It's very interesting how we will see later that the design of this building is very unique, and I like the fact that although we usually see in these buildings wood and cement, it's very interesting to see a different type of combination of things. Here I wrote marble because inside in the interior, on the stairs leading up to that second floor, it's made out of marble, and it's not something that you see very common. So I really liked it. You know, in the 19th century, you wouldn't really see something so, I guess, pretty and sophisticated, but I guess it goes to show that the Spanish Royal Corps of Engineers really knew what they were doing. Next is the uniqueness. The architectural design used for the making of the structure was Spanish neoclassical, and we can see that heavy influence of Spanish architecture in these arcs that we have right here. They're not very common anywhere outside of Spanish culture, that being, of course, in Spain, but also here in Puerto Rico. That although we're Puerto Ricans, or not Spain, we are so very heavily influenced by it because of our founders, you know. It's very interesting how here we see that we have rather circular arcs in these windows here, and on the top we have a little more square-like, I guess you could say, arcs um, but I like it. It's rather unique to us. If you go to Old San Juan here in Puerto Rico, you'll see many buildings that have this same sort of Spanish architectural design. One of my favorites. Next is the importance of the old townhouse of Caguas, Puerto Rico. The importance of the old town hall of Caguas, Puerto Rico was so that it could be used for governmental and societal purpose. A lot of the time, this place or each town needed a central place for which they needed to do very important governmental things. In this town hall, what they did, they used it for, we talked about it before, they used it as a prison, an asylum, a nursery school. They used it as a recruitment center for the United States Army. And they also used it for the municipal assembly so that they could meet up and do and talk about their political affairs. Very interesting. Next up, we have the conclusion. This is where we come to our conclusion. The old town hall of Caguas has been sitting there for over a century, and yet, because of the way it was built, it still stands tall today. It goes to show that although it's been over a century since it was made, it still stands perfectly still, perfectly perfect. Of course, that's not grammatically right, but what I mean to say is that it stands well, and it's very impressive by the way it was designed and engineered, and that's given to the same, the way it was designed and engineered. It really inspires us to, as future engineers, to do a good job, and that we can do a good job. If it did it in the 19th century, we can definitely do it in the 21st century. Thank you so much for your time. This has been a presentation.